This is the BenQ PianoLight Grand. And if it looks like the most amazing grand piano lamp ever made, that's because it is. With features ranging from brightness and white temperature adjustments to smart presence detection that automatically turns the light on and off for you, and much more, this piano light combines all of the features you'd expect from a high-end LED fixture into an extremely practical package tailor-made for pianists. Hey, I'm Szczepanek and welcome back to Pianist Academy for this review of the BenQ PianoLight Grand. This video is sponsored by BenQ, and stick around because you have a chance to win this light that's worth over $450 US at the time of this video in a giveaway that I'm going to talk about later in the video. By the way, that piece I was playing at the beginning, that was about the first minute of the 30-minute long Sonata in B-flat minor by Paul Arant. It's a fantastic piece of music. I'm going to go through all of the features of this lamp in just a minute, and toward the end of this video, I'm going to share my completely honest opinion about this light. But first, let's talk about why having good light at your piano is actually important. To take a quote from BenQ, they say, "A commonly overlooked issue in music performance is eye strain. Studies show that focusing on small notes for extended periods in uneven lighting can cause eye strain, negatively impacting an artist's performance. Proper lighting is crucial, not only for reducing eye strain, but also for enhancing concentration." I think we could add to what BenQ said and say that poor lighting can also negatively impact our teaching sessions and lessons, and it can definitely negatively impact your practice sessions when you may be spending multiple hours at the instrument. This PianoLight Grand is a no-compromise lighting solution that provides concert-grade illumination, so like what you'd expect on a professional stage, but right to you at home or in your teaching studio. And unlike any household lighting fixture, and most purpose-made piano lights too, this light evenly lights all 88 keys, and it evenly lights the music rack as well. I'm going to quickly mention all of the features of this light and then elaborate on two of my favorites for you. So first up, this light is dimmable, and I'm on the brightness setting right now, and using the left and right buttons, I can dim this across 14 steps, which is pretty amazing. So it can be dimmed to just a little bit of light, quite dim, which would be really nice in a darkened room or something like that, to very bright, and about as bright as some of my 100-watt cinema lights that I'm using right now to film this video. So it has plenty of power if you need it, but it can also be dialed in really finely to the brightness that you'd like. The lamp also has a 7-step warmth adjustment, and that's that little temperature gauge right there. And all the way to the right, this is 5,300 Kelvin, or kind of, it would be called daylight balanced or almost daylight balanced, and that kind of bluish white light. And as we go to the left, we can cycle through all of these, and that light gets warmer and warmer. And when we reach fully the left side of this adjustment, this is 2,700 Kelvin. As you can see, this is very warm white light. So between the brightness adjustments and the temperature adjustment, you can really find a light that you like and that matches the room around you, or that sets the piano apart in a way that you like, or in a way that's going to suit the mood of the music that you're currently playing. While we're talking about brightness, this lamp also has an auto brightness detection. That's that button right there. And if you touch that and you leave that on, the lamp will automatically sense the brightness around the keyboard and the music rack and adjust to be bright enough to give you a nice amount of illumination without being overly bright. There are two lighting modes, one to illuminate the keyboard and the music rack, and that's what we have turned on right now. And there's one to illuminate just the keyboard. I'll put some other pictures on screen for this because in this scene, it didn't make that big of a difference because I have a bunch of other lights on. But really, this is a nice change between getting rid of your music rack light and just having your keyboard illuminated, or having both turned on. Next up is this little heart icon, which can save your favorite light setting. Now, when the light comes from the factory, the pre-save here defaults to 5300K daylight balanced and full brightness, which is actually what I'm showing you right now, with both the keyboard and the music rack lights on. You can overwrite that preset by holding the heart icon down for about 3 seconds. The lights on the display will flash when your preset's been saved, and then when you click your preset, you can go to your favorite setting. And lastly, there's this icon that looks a little bit like a person. That is presence detection. So if you have this option turned on, when you leave the piano and if you're away for 3 minutes about, the light will automatically turn off. And when you come back after the light is turned off, the lamp senses that you've approached and it automatically turns back on. When BenQ reached out to me about doing this collaboration, they said that I'd be welcome to share any of my opinions about the product, positive and negative, and that's what we're going to dive into right now. To be completely frank, this is a really impressive lamp, and I think it does live up to how BenQ advertises it. The quality of the light that this lamp produces is really nice. Visually, the light is soft enough that it's always pleasant. It's never harsh. Even at the brightest setting like it is right now, which is quite bright, it's never harsh. I really appreciate the white temperature shift options, and when I'm not filming, I find myself using this light at about 70% brightness and right in the middle of the white temperature shift setting. I'd say the temperature shift and the brightness adjustment, I'll combine that into one of my favorite features of this light. You can really dial in light that matches your environment or that matches the mood of what you're playing, or you can just have really bright and clean light that really does help to keep you focused. A lot of people use daylight balanced light to help wake up in the morning and to help stay focused during the day. It's proven that white that's more blue or white that is more like natural sunlight helps to activate our mind. And if you've experienced that, you know that daylight balanced light in the home or the work environment really does make a difference in our ability to stay focused and be productive. Staying focused is really important when we're at the piano and we want to practice or play our best. Now, in any home lighting fixture, you're going to be stuck with whatever temperature bulb that you have in your lamp, or perhaps in the ceiling, if you have ceiling fixture or recessed lighting. Sure, you could spend some extra money and you could buy some adjustable smart bulbs, but you're still going to run into problems with shadows and less than ideal placement of those lights. And if you own a purpose-built piano lamp, most of those don't take a standard light bulb. They are usually fluorescent, and they have a totally different socket type, and fluorescent light, you probably know, it's just not very nice to look at. If you're worried about suspending something like this over your piano, which I totally understand, you can rest assured the stand is extremely stable. The circular base that this lamp is on, I'm not sure exactly how much it weighs, but it felt like about 10 pounds. There is a lot of mass holding this light right where you put it. And even with the arm fully extended like it is right now, this lamp isn't even close to tipping over. And the adjustments that are available in the arm and in the stand and in the head, these all tilt and swivel and move in all kinds of different directions. They mean that you truly can put this light in a bunch of different places. Now, at the beginning of this video, I had the light kind of next to me on my left side, and that was really just so that it was a little bit easier to see. But now I've placed the base still on the left side, but about 2 feet back from the front of the keyboard. And now the base and this vertical piece of the lamp, they're really far away, they're out of the way, and this arm is fully extended, and it's still very, very stable. Unlike my other insanely expensive PianoLight, this one lives on the floor. That means I can take the music rack off if I want to practice memorized rep. And that, I think, is probably my other favorite part about this lamp. I have never had any sort of good lighting solution to practice when the music rack isn't on the piano. Those practice sessions, they're probably the most important ones because usually I'm practicing memorized right before a public performance. But without the music rack, my best piano light that would usually sit right here, my best piano light would be gone. I wouldn't be able to use it at all. And so I'd have to deal with whatever light I had in the room, which would usually be weird in all sorts of ways. Now you could say, well, just leave the music rack on, right? But that's also a compromise because just having the music rack on actually makes the piano sound totally different and appear totally different in front of us. So if you're planning on performing without the music rack, it's really best to practice for auditory and visual reasons. Practice without it as well. This really is the nicest piano light that I have worked with, and it's great in the home, but I could totally see myself taking this also to a recording session in a hall or in a studio where a lot of the time you can't use the lighting that's built into the room because the fixtures are really noisy. You can actually hear lights, especially in concert halls. You can hear them hum through microphones that you have set up. This is totally silent. I mean, I'm sitting here with a microphone right here on me. The lamp is right here. There's no hum, there's nothing. It's very clean, it's very quiet. You have great lighting. I would love to take this with me on a recording session where before I would have some floor lamps set up to try to light the keyboard up and I wouldn't be able to see one side or the other and it would, I'd just do my best with it. This would be an absolute pleasure to record with and it would make the process a whole lot more enjoyable. Let's talk about one thing that's not even really a negative, but it's just something that I want you to be aware of. Earlier in this video, we talked about how this light illuminates all 88 keys evenly and illuminates the music rack evenly, right? And that is true, especially to just the eye. It is a little brighter across the middle few octaves of the keyboard, and it is a little less so at the outer ends of the keyboard. Now, I don't think it's enough that it would be distracting or bothersome in any way. It's almost imperceptible to the eye. In fact, I didn't even notice it until I actually measured the brightness from the middle of the keyboard to the end with my camera. But in all fairness to you, let's take a look at the percent roll-off of brightness that we do get. I don't own any light measuring tools, but here we are looking at how my camera senses the brightness on the keys themselves. And from the middle of the keyboard where the light is positioned, you can see approximately a 15% decrease in light at the ends of the keyboard. Now again, if you compare that data to purely what it looks like, you really can hardly perceive that. And actually that change in brightness across the keyboard, it is far less than what I have been able to achieve here in my studio with a bunch of expensive cinema lighting. I haven't gotten any complaints on this channel about my lighting not being even, and this light performs even better than all of the gear I have set up all around me. That is really the only negative thing I could find about this light, and like I said, just because it isn't perfect in the data doesn't mean that it doesn't do the job it's supposed to do extraordinarily well. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, BenQ is giving away one of these lights, and these are retailing for over $450 US at the time of this video. So if you want a chance to win a free PianoLight Grand, you can find a link down below in the description to enter the giveaway. Please note that this giveaway is currently only open to participants in the United States. And if you're finding this video later and the giveaway is all done, you can find a link to purchase this light down below in the description as well. Thanks again to BenQ for sponsoring this video. I don't often post reviews of products here on Pianist Academy, but I did do one for this adjustable hydraulic bench that I'm using by Andexsinger, and you can check it out right over here. Practice smarter, not harder, and I'll see you next time.